Hello. Well, the big news this week is that there are no homosexuals in Chechnya. Nary a one. Yup, we have the word of chubby Chechen President Razman Kadyrov, who is an MMA fighter, but seems to depend less on muscle and training than on his weight, or possibly his political influence for his victories in the ring. In the event that you haven't seen a picture, allow me to paint one for you. He looks a bit like what Conor McGregor would look like if he ditched the exercise bike and started eating pork pies. Lots of pork pies. And pork pies are exactly what President Kadyrov has a passion for. Well, not the real pork, obviously, since he says he's a religious Muslim, and he has the beard to prove it. And 10 children. Well, at least his wife has 10 children. But for you non-Brits out there, I shall explain that when someone is being economical with the truth, we often say they're telling pork pies, which is Cockney rhyming slang for being a Chechen politician, actually. Kadyrov tells us that there are no gays in his country, and stories about concentration camps and torture are a foul calumny dreamed up by devils who will be punished by the Almighty for their lies. Meanwhile, Kadyrov's spokesman, a chap called Karimov, don't confuse the two, Karimov said, "You cannot arrest or repress people who just don't exist." Meanwhile, the Chechen police, led by their director, Kilimov, okay, I made that one up, but we are dealing with imaginary people here, are arresting and repressing these invisible men in large numbers. Once they have taken these will-o'-the-wisps into custody, the police then call in their parents, instructing them that the family has to dispatch their errant, non-existent son, or the police will find more creative ways to do it. In the old days, this sort of fiction would be called a fairy story, but you're not allowed to call them that nowadays. Anyway, it's more like a grim tale, because it isn't make-believe. In documented cases, that is just what the families have done. They took their sons out of police custody and murdered them. Whether they did it because they really wanted to clean their honour in blood, which is the Chechen expression meaning the pretense that you're a decent human being taking a moral stand, or whether they were just worried that more of their relatives would be accused by association, I don't know. But the homosexual Chechens in hiding who have been interviewed say they wouldn't stay alive a day if they went home to their own families. Mind you, the reporter who conducted the interviews was obviously making up the whole thing, because everything about Chechnya sounds like something out of one of the grislier tales of the Arabian Nights. The Arabian Nights, by the way, is a collection of folk tales, which were stories supposedly told to delay an execution. Unfortunately, the stories being told in Chechnya right now seem to be expediting them. And the question I have is as follows. Well, several questions. Where are the social justice warriors? Where are the demos outside the Chechen embassies? Where are the people to speak out for these poor bastards who can't even find refuge with their own bloody families? Where are the rubbish bin, car-burning, furious opponents of injustice who tore Hamburg into little bits during the G20 conference? Or are people who really care about real injustice, real murder, real oppression, like the Chechen gays, completely imaginary?